up for grabs may be the best way to describe the National League Central entering 2025, as every team has a reason to believe that this could be their year. The Brewers were expected to fall to the back of the pack in 2024. Instead, they won 93 games and a second straight division crown. The Crew has to feel like the favorite label is theirs until further notice. The Cubs were supposed to push Milwaukee, but spent most of the year hovering around 500. The pressure is there to make a market improvement in 2025. On the flip side, the Cardinals probably overachieved in matching Chicago's 83 wins. With a wide-open division, the motivation is there to further prove that 2023 was but a one-year bump for one of baseball's most successful franchises. Cincinnati saw a core of young pitchers step up last year, and if the electric Elly De La Cruz can ignite the offense, the Reds have the pieces to move towards the top of the division. Pittsburgh's Paul Skeens burst onto the scene a year ago. But Pittsburgh is more than the 22-year-old phenom. The Bucks bolted out of the gates in each of the last two seasons. If they can find a way to finish, they could be one of 2025's biggest surprises.
With that, welcome into the St. Louis Cardinals franchise rebuild as we look to start day one 2025 to get the Cardinals back to the playoffs, restore some glory with the franchise, and really turn things around as things have been going really downhill the last couple of years, especially. The Cardinals haven't seen the postseason in a couple of years either, and of course, kind of a sour taste in your mouth if you are a Cardinals fan with the fall to Philly in that wild card series, being up in game one. Marmol, of course, taking Quintana out, and the rest is, as they say, history. So, I'm looking to rebuild this team. Not 100% sure where we're going exactly. As the intro to March to October said, whoever is voicing that over, I'm not sure, but probably overachieved last year. And being a Cardinals fan personally, living in Kansas City, the comparisons are always very loud when the Royals are good. Going back to last season, you look at it, they weren't really that far off of, the Royals, but the NL seems to be a tougher league than the American League at this current point in time. We'll see if that, translates to 2025 as well. But I do think that I'm not sure if there's going to be a lot of moves that I'm going to do in this first season. We're going to take a look at the roster, break everything down in this first episode, and then get to it. So welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Papa Shro, and this is the gaming channel, so all things gaming related right here. Keep it locked. Smash that subscribe button for me. Hit the like button if you enjoy the video as well, and let's get into this roster. So let's start with the pitching and an overall look at the depth chart heading into 2025 to kind of kick things off. And I think I'm going to go to just straight the roster menu and kind of break down some of this and look at really what we got right now. Now, like I said, I am a Cardinals fan, so team I'm fairly familiar with already coming in to this rebuild, and there's some things to like and there's some things to not like, and we'll start with starting pitching. You got Sonny Gray, which I think, he's under contract, $25 million a year through 2027. So we've got Sonny Gray for 3 years, which, 35 years old, so through the 38-year-old season. We'll see how that goes. Maybe we see a couple of years of Sonny Gray and then trade him or deal him away in that third season. Eric Fetty, who the Cardinals acquired via trade last year with, I believe, the White Sox is where he was at last season. $7.5 million for 2025. 32 years old and an 81 overall. Steven Matz, who honestly I don't think the Cardinals are going to have him in the rotation from what I heard this season. I think he might be a bullpen arm. Not 100% sure. I'm going to have to double check that actually. We'll get into the further roster and see the other starters. But Steven Matz, of course, he's been injury riddled since he came aboard with the Cardinals back in 2022. Let's see, $11 million for 2025. So looks like we're going to have a decent amount of turnover in the rotation after year one. Miles Michaelis. See, I think he is also a free agent, $18.6 million he is on for in 2025, which, obviously he was very good at one point last couple of years, not the same kind of pitching. 5.35 ERA just a year ago. Of course, at 2018, he had that great year with 2.83 ERA, 200 innings pitched, 18-4. I think he was a Cy Young candidate in 2018. Guy I've always been a fan of. And then Andre Palante rounds us out. 29 games, 20 of them starts, 8-8 last year with a 3.78 ERA. Still just 26, Andre Palante, which I've been a big fan of since he came up in 2022. And we'll see where he can go. Let's see. What is his... He's got a C potential, 70 overall at 26. I don't know. We'll see. He's got a little over 2 years of service time. So I think that we'll probably see a lot of Andre Palante in the at least beginning years of this series. Moving on to the field. Brendan Donovan, who has been great for the Cardinals over the last few years. He's just 28 years old. Honestly, I don't know if it's just because he looks older or something, but it seems like that dude's been in his mid-30s the entire time. Is what it feels like, but solid hitter for contact. Not a ton of power. 14 home runs last year, though. We'll see where that number gets to this season. Michael Ciani as at center field, which he came up last year for the Cardinals, and 228 average last year. I wouldn't say I'm super low on Ciani. 25 years old. He's also got a C potential, but we'll see how that goes. A couple years younger with Victor Scott. We saw him in center field last year, opening day. Very little service time. Didn't spend a ton of time in the big leagues last year. Just 53 games, 145 at-bats, hit 179. So obviously that's going to have to be better. But at just 24 years of age, I think that we could see him developing into a decent outfielder in this series. Jordan Walker, he is the guy that at this point, I think if you're a Cardinals fan, you're hoping he doesn't become a what-if. Obviously super hyped up in 2023 to be a big prospect coming up. I mean, for the last few years, I feel like Jordan Walker's been really hyped up to us. And at center field, though, I think is weird. They've got him first on the depth chart. I'm going to change that because he's definitely not going to play center. 6'6", 250. I mean, I feel like you need somebody at first base, and he seems like a perfect candidate to go over to first base. Wilson Contreras, of course, moving from catcher to first base. Finish off the outfield here and then get to the infield. Lars Nootbaar, who has been great fanfare, I'll say. I mean, he's a good hitter, solid, 12 home runs, 244 average last year, 261 a couple of years ago. Of course, he had that fun run with Japan in the World Baseball Classic. And, I mean, how can you not be a fan of Nootbaar? Of course, came up with the pepper grinder celebration. Let's get to the infield. Okay, so we got Wilson Contreras over at first, and Luke and Baker is down third on the depth chart that they have coming in. I've altered some settings here and there, but I haven't really touched the franchise yet. Just got it set up. So we'll see where that goes. Again, Jordan Walker seems like a perfect candidate to move down to first base. Got enough outfielders, it feels like. Nolan Gorman, who they want to, the Cardinals want to move over to third base and plan to trade Nolan Arenado. Haven't been able to get a deal done. We'll see what we do with Nolan Arenado if we end up trading him somewhere. He's got 3 years left on that deal, $32.5 million a year. And obviously last year he regressed. Had a really bad spell through what felt like the middle of the season. He kind of turned it around, 272. I mean, really not bad numbers last year from Nolan Arenado, 16 home runs. Power numbers were down, but, 33 years old now. Still got a B potential, and we got 3 years on the contract. So, one of the biggest prospects that looks to be, I feel like, pretty good. Mason Wynn, very, very good defender and decent enough hitter, 267 last year. Hit 15 home runs, got a little pop in the bat. So I think that's going to be one of the focal pieces of this franchise moving forward is Mason Wynn. Another outfielder over here at DH that I kind of forgot about since he's put over here at DH. A guy that I really like in Alec Burleson. 26 years old. He's got a B potential. 21 home runs last year in 152 games. 269 average. I mean, he just seems to get better as a hitter. I do like him as the DH as well. He can also play first base. Behind the plate, we got Ivan Herrera and Pedro Pages. And both of these guys I'm a pretty big fan of, honestly. I think that each of them have quite a bit of potential. You've got Ivan Herrera, 24 years old still, and a B potential. Pages is 26 with a C potential. So obviously he's probably going to be the career backup to Ivan Herrera, essentially. 71 overall, though, already. I mean, I say already, but 26 years old. So, I don't know. Maybe we can figure out something to work. Maybe some trade pieces there. Look at the bullpen. Ryan Helsley, who is going to need to get paid. And personally, I mean, I've been a Helsley fan from the beginning. And also, shout out Ryan Helsley, fellow Cherokee Nation citizen. So I do want to keep him, but I don't know what that deal is going to look like. $8.2 million this season. 30 years old already. I mean, very solid closer. 2.04 ERA last year. 49 saves. Seems like, I guess last year was the first year they had him as just a full-fledged closer. Seems like a rotating door nowadays in MLB with closers on teams. But 2.63 ERA career-wise. And a total of 84 saves, 18 blown saves. I don't know, man. Letting Helsley go is going to be tough. So, I mean, I think that if I get to the point where we think that we're probably going to move on from Ryan Helsley, I think he's got to be a guy that's got to be traded at some point. Jojo Romero, Ryan Fernandez, Tink Hence, who is a starting pitcher, young guy, Michael McGreevy, also a starting pitcher. Takoa Roby is the other kind of top prospect here. Let's see. 23 he's got a C potential, so see, we got a B potential over here. 22 years old. McGreevy, C potential. Liberatore still hanging around in St. Louis. 4.40 ERA last year. Started 6 games. He's one of those guys that he kind of uses as a 6th starter. If need be. Kyle Leahy. But this bullpen is rough. I mean, you've got Ryan Helsley, and outside of that, Jojo Romero, as well as Ryan Fernandez. And other than that, this bullpen is pretty bad. So we are going to look into, obviously, improving. So let's go to the whole roster and look. Starting pitchers. So you've got a few guys that are going to be rookies in this spring training, getting an invite, getting a pitch. Honestly, I haven't paid attention a ton to spring training. Opening day getting ready to happen. It's a great time of year, guys. Okay, so a lot of not great potential, not great overalls. Tink Hence looks like he's the guy, along with Quinn Matthews, that we will really try to progress. 22 and 24 years old, that hopefully in a couple of years will be solid starters at the big league level. And like I said, we're going to have a lot of turnover at starting pitching, so I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do. We will see, obviously, midway through this 2025 season, whether we are buyers or sellers, because I do think there's opportunity to, carve out maybe a playoff spot. And I don't know, obviously it's going to depend on what we need to give up. The relievers is just, it's pretty bad. Liberatore, still 25 with a B potential at 64, maybe. I mean, if he pitches well. Gordon Graceffo has been pretty hyped up prospect, B potential 24. But that overall at 56 is rough. Other than that, I mean, you don't have a lot of young talent with any good potential through here for the Cardinals at the reliever position, and it doesn't look like it's happening at the closer position either. So that's kind of rough to look at in general. But as a Cardinals fan, I kind of know what this near future looks like, and it does not look good. So, and obviously why I chose my favorite team to do this dynasty with, or dynasty. I've been playing too much college football, but the franchise with them. And first base is another one that I feel like looks pretty rough. You got 24-year-old with a D potential down here, not in single A. It's Springfield. You got 26-year-old with a D potential. I mean, Luke and Baker at this point, I mean, I feel like we kind of been hearing about Luke and Baker for half a decade, is what it feels like. Hasn't performed very well at the big league level at all. Wilson Contreras is all you got. And 4 more years of paying him $17.5 million. Hasn't been bad. We're just going to have to hope he stays away from injury. That's what's plagued him over the last couple of years. Thomas Segis, 22 years old with a C potential. 64 overall, though, at 204 last year at the big league level in just, 18 games? Yeah. Ramon Mendoza, 24-year-old. See, and just the potential. Everybody's potential is like a C or D once you get past the top few guys. Nolan Arenado still hanging out with the Cardinals. And like I said, we got 3 more years left of Arenado. I don't know. I may get halfway through the season and decide whether I might just ride out that contract with Arenado and let him stay in St. Louis and maybe continue to try to build around him, because honestly, looking at the numbers, it's not as bad as what I remember from last year. I mean, 272 is not bad. That's better than the year before. I think it was 2022 when him and Goldschmidt both were MVP candidates in St. Louis. That was the year, the last time the Cardinals made the playoffs. Other than that, bunch of D potential. Got one young guy, 21-year-old, John Frank Salazar, down here at third base. So not a ton of potential down the line either. Nolan Gorman is already 24 years old, already has a little over 2 years of service time. I mean, having him hang out in the minors isn't a good idea. I mean, obviously he's playing second base for us, but I think that we're going to go ahead and keep him there for the time being. Mason Winn at shortstop. I mean, again, like I said, this might be the guy that we really kind of try to build around. 22 years old, B potential, already an 80 overall. Great defensive player, and has showed a little bit of pop in his bat. 68 power against the lefties, very solid. Again, not a ton. J.J. Wetherholt, this is the first year I've kind of been hearing about him, and he's been incorporated in some of the Diamond Dynasty stuff. But 22 years old with a B potential, 60 overall. Not mad at that. Middle infielder, shortstop, and second base. So I think Wetherholt is going to be a solid guy to, we actually have one prospect that might be worth something. It is what it feels like, because, I mean, just every position you go to. Just not a ton of potential here. Brendan Donovan, again, already 28 years old. 3 years of service time. We'll see kind of what he commands. He's already getting $2.8 million. And figure out the budget as well, but just nothing at left field. Center field, got a little bit. Again, hopefully Victor Scott develops well, but I mean, Michael Ciani out there. I mean, I feel like we have a few good pieces. Other than that, not too much. Maybe Juan Ben Cho, 21 years old, C potential, 62 overall. That might be a solid outfield prospect right there, actually. We'll see how he develops. In right field, of course, Nootbaar, Walker, and Burleson all at the big league level. Other than that, not much there. And I do think that I might end up moving him down to first base. I don't know. I mean, only 22 years old. Maybe he'll have another season like he did last year and spend half-ish in AAA. We'll see what we want to do with that. But overall, it does feel like there's quite a bit of work to do. So, the plan is I'm going to probably play through some of the spring training, get a feel for the team, and we will be back on opening day for game 1 of the season against the Minnesota Twins. Very excited to kick off this series, and there you look at the rankings on the screen. 25th ranked, 10th in contact, and defense, but everything else pretty bad. 24th in power, 21st speed, and 25th in pitching. The pitching is probably going to be my number one thing that I'm going to work on really developing for this team, whether it's through the draft, whether we can get some trades off. If we do end up trading Nolan Arenado, that's what I'm going to be really looking for, is some really good pitching prospects. And we might have a few older prospects maybe to move around to get a little bit younger. And, hey, sometimes you just got to embrace the suck. And maybe right now is that time for the St. Louis Cardinals team. They've always been a perennial contender through the last, 20 to 30 years, it feels like at this point. Going on about 25 years. This Cardinals team has competed year in and year out, has been to, 4 World Series, I think, and won a couple of them. I think 4 total. It's the Red Sox in 04. 2011 with a win. 2006 with a win, of course. And then 2013 losing to the Red Sox again. So, not bad. Couple World Series in the last 25 years, 20-ish years. But we are a long way removed, and almost 10 years, or more than 10 years. It's been 12 years since Cardinals went to the World Series. It's been 14 years since Cardinals won a World Series. So we will look to turn the Cardinals back into perennial contender and at least making the playoffs year in and year out. We'll see if 25 we can actually push through to the playoffs. But again, make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button too if you enjoy the content. And if you are ready for baseball season, let me know in the comments below who your team is, who you're excited to see in this Cardinals franchise as well. And if there's any prospects, especially pitching prospects, you think I should go after. And with that being said, we'll see you in the next video on opening day.